Hi, I'm Amy, and today we're going to talk about sorting multiple marriages and applying the correct children to the correct marriage. And this happens a lot on Ancestry and other genealogy programs where it's difficult to get the children applied to the correct marriage, and how that can sometimes happen incorrectly, particularly through census records is how it usually happens, and how to fix it. I had a reader ask me about this, and I thought, great, we can talk about it today. So we're going to talk about that. One of the things that I am also going to cover today is how to make sure that the record, particularly a census record, is applying to the correct individual, because sometimes some of these problems are also because of that. So we're going to talk about those two things today, and hopefully these will help you. We're going to use the Ancestry platform because that's the one specifically that this viewer asked about. But really, kind of the principles apply to any of the platforms. So let's dive in. I'd ask you to please give me a thumbs up if this video is of help for you, and subscribe to the channel, click the bell, and that way you'll be notified when I release new videos as well. So let's get into this. The reader specifically said, I have several cases of second marriages as childbirth and poor living conditions in rural areas killed many married women at a young age, and men needed some help, someone to step in and look after the families, etc. I do find it difficult to get Ancestry to show the records and the tree structure to reflect both marriages and the children relating to each marriage. In one case, both women have identical names. If this is a topic you feel you could give some guidance regarding record entries, that would be most appreciated. So, here we go. All right, I actually have the same situation in my family, and I was just working on it, and I thought this would be a perfect example of what happens and how to fix it. So I'm going to take you through the process. I'm going to show you how it happened, and then I'm going to show you how to fix it. All right, so Patrick Rohan, I found him in the 1860 census living in the home of William and his wife Mary. If I look at his hints, I have him in the 1860 census. Under William, I actually have him in the 1870 census. But if I look at these hints, he's not showing up in the 1870 census. And the 1860 and 1870 census don't do the family transfer the way the later censuses do. And so I'm going to show you a quick way to fix this. So if I go to William and I go to his census record, and you can see this record here. This is just the index format, but to save time, I'm not going to get into the image, although I advocate always look at the image. So I want to save it to Patrick, and I want to save it to somebody in my tree because it's not automatically showing up in his hints. So I'm going to go to my tree and I'm going to write in Patrick Rohan. All right. And so this is the Patrick Rohan that I'm talking about. So I'm going to attach it to this Patrick. And now it's working like if it were in a hint and everywhere else. So this is the information that I already had in my tree from the 1860 census. So here I have it in the 1870 census. We have the same birth. We have him in 1870 residing in Lebanon, Wisconsin with his father and stuff like that. And I already have his father in here, but for some reason this record just didn't want to save to him. So I check that information and then I save it to my tree. So now I have Patrick in the 1860 and 1870 census. So I looked through his hints and I found this 1900 census. Again, I did some work. I know that there's not another Patrick in the area, that this record appears to belong to this ancestral Patrick. Now, there's a lot more flexibility, I think, when I'm adopting a record not in the side panel. I am not a fan of the side panel. So I click on that little image right there, and then I'm adopting the record in the old way. But I'll show you why it's important to me. So I'm going to say, yes, I'm going to accept this record. And I've got some more information. This record says that Patrick was born in March. I'm going to add that information in here. It says that he arrived in 1851 and then he married Mary in 1894, his wife. And then I have his wife, and I'm going to add this record to all of his children. And it's going to put all of these children under Patrick and his wife, Mary. So we're going to speed things up. All right, so one of the other things that I like to do when I see this happen, and I accidentally did this, so here I made a mistake. I've done some research on the family, and their name is often written as Roughn, but the headstone says Rohan, which is also true with a lot of the other records I found on the family. So I've made a mistake, and I don't like their surname being Roughn, as well as Mary's surname wouldn't be that because that's her married name. So I'm going to take her surname off completely and save that because that's not her surname. And in my genealogy trees, women are listed by their maiden names. And I'm going to go in and I'm going to manually change all of these names to Rohan because I know that's what it is. All right, so I made that change and now I see Patrick with his wife, Mary. But let me show you what happened with the family as I was doing more research. So I have him in the 1900 census, but I want to look at him in the 1880 census and kind of see what happened, see what happened with the family there, see where they lived. I want to make sure because when he was a kid, he was living in Lebanon, Wapaka, I guess. And then in 1900, he's moved to Bear Creek, Wapaka, I'm sure I'm saying that wrong, Wisconsin. And I want to just make sure those communities, I did some research on those, they're not that far apart. They're maybe like 35 miles apart. But I still wanted to just kind of trace him a little bit more thoroughly, make sure I had the right guy. The other thing that was a flag to me was I see a marriage in 1894. According to the census record, the marriage was in 1894. And let me show you one other thing that was a flag. And this is something that a lot of people miss. So here it says that they've been married, this column right here is that they've been married for 6 years. And this record also said that she had 4 children born to her, of which 4 were alive. Now, there's a whole lot more than 4 children here. And so, and we can see a lot of these kids were born before 6 years prior. So 6 years prior was 1894, starting with Agnes. So it's looking like maybe Agnes, John, Edwin, and Catherine are the daughters of this Mary, but there probably was a second wife. So big flag here. So right now, I have a lot of these children attributed to Mary when she can't be their mom. So there's something wrong here. And this happens a lot in genealogy trees. So I'm going to do a little bit more research and work out why. So I find Patrick in the 1880 census. He's living in the same location and he's married to Mary. Now, is this the same Mary or is this a different Mary? Let's look into it. So again, I'm going to open it up big. All right, so I've got Patrick married to Mary with daughters Mary, Bridget, Maggie, and Liza, who's only 8 months old. So I've looked at this image. Again, I always recommend that, and I'm going to save this record. So I'm saving it to Patrick. His wife, Mary, here it says she was born in 1851, and here it says that she was born in 1860. Now, if the Mary of the 1900 census had only been married for 6 years, this can't be the same Mary. He was married to 2 women by the name of Mary. So if I click this, it's going to match with her. But that's not right. They are not a match. So I'm going to click this right here, not a match. This is the type of stuff that to me is easier on the screen than it is in the side panel. So I'm going to say this is not a match, and there's no other possibility. I'm going to create a new person. Now, at this point, this is a theory, and I need to do more research on it, but this is how I'm going to proceed. So I'm creating a new person. Now, if I had saved this record to the previous wife, I can go back in and I can delete the record. I can delete the record from the fact line, and I can delete the record from the source and apply it to the correct Mary. As a matter of fact, the first time I did this, I didn't catch that information. Bad me. And I did have to go in and fix it, but that's okay. Everything's fixable. All right. So now Bridget is a new person. Now, if I thought she wasn't a new person, she wasn't listed. The first child that was listed in that 1900 census was born in 1881, and Bridget was born in 1876. So this is a new child. So we're going to see how she's attributed. So Bridget and Maggie are a new person. Liza is a new person. And now Mary here that was born in about 1875, the other Mary was born in 1886. So again, this is not a match. So I'm going to say not a match. And I'm going to create a new person here. And now I'm going to save this to my tree. Now you can see what happens here. Now I have a Mary with children William, Thomas, Michael, Patrick, blah, 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 Mary. And then I have another Mary with daughter Mary, Bridget, Maggie, and Liza. All right, so now I need to do some more research, and I got to find out more about these 2 Marys and try to figure this out. Now, to make a long story short, through some additional research, I find that there's a Mary Rohan that was born the 29th of November, 1847, and died in 1892. Now, this would fit with the storyline, right? Now, within that same cemetery was a Mary Catherine Langan Rohan. who was born in October of 1860 and died in 1936. So I did some research and discovered that was his second wife. It was actually through her obituary that I confirmed that this was, in fact, the second wife of Patrick Rohan. And this obituary provided her maiden name. It also noted that she had 8 stepchildren that survived her, which then helps me divide the children. So now I can divide the children by the second wife Mary's obituary, by when they were married, by when his first wife died. So here I have Patrick with his wife, here, Mary Catherine Langan. And then all of these children, some of which don't belong to her. Because of the 1880 census, I know that Mary Murphy and Patrick's first child was born in 1875. And that in 1870, Patrick was living in the home of his parents. So he married sometime between 1870 and 1874, probably. So I'm just going to add the marriage of Patrick and Mary Murphy in Waupaca County, Wisconsin in about 1873. And I'm going to select the spouse of Mary Murphy. And that's going to swap her, if you saw that, that's going to swap her to the front now, so that now Ancestry has them in order because I have that marriage record in there. So now I still have to fix the kids. So the first thing I'm going to do is I'm going to take the kids. Now you can add step parents and things like that, but for me, it just makes it more complicated. I just assume that if they're living with another parent, they're their step parent later, right? So the easiest way for me to do it is to go to Mary Catherine. I'm going to go to her person. And I'm going to go up here to edit, and I'm going to edit relationships. And what I need to do is I need to take out all of the children that were born before she married. So I'm going to remove William, and I'm going to remove Thomas and Michael and all the other kids that don't belong to her. And so I know that I have these families correct. So let's go back and look at Patrick again. So we have Patrick now with Mary Murphy with those 4 children that were from the 1880 census. And now I've taken the kids off of Mary Catherine, but now they're floating here loose. The other kids that are really the children of Mary Murphy are floating around loose. There's 2 ways to do this, and I'm going to show you both ways. The first way is to go to make a list of all these kids and go into Mary Murphy, edit her relationships, and add children, and type in their name and add them in. That's time consuming. The other way to do it is to go into the kids, like this William, and edit his relationship and add his mother, add Mary Murphy. I'll show you how I would do that. Add mother, Mary Murphy, 1847 to 1892, save her. And now if we go back to Patrick, we see that William has been bumped from an unknown mom to being here under Mary Murphy. But I've still got 5 more kids, 6 more kids, and I don't want to do it that way. So I'm going to show you another little hack. I'm going to add a spouse here. I'm going to add Mary Murphy. I'm going to type a new person. I'm not using the old Mary Murphy. So now I have a Mary Murphy with these kids. And then I have this other Mary Murphy up here with the birth and death information. So what I'm going to do now is I'm going to merge these 2 individuals, and it's going to drop the kids into the right place. So I'm going to take Mary Murphy, and I'm going to, right over here under Tools, I'm going to merge with a duplicate. And I'm going to type in Mary Murphy. And here I see that other Mary Murphy that I had typed into my tree. Now, I'm going to have the same. I didn't type in other information because I didn't want to have duplicate information. And because the names are the same, it's not even going to save it as an alternate name, and I'm going to merge them. That's a little trick. If you just type Mary, then it makes it harder. Type in the exact same name for both individuals. So now when I go to Patrick, I'll show you how this is all fixed. We have Patrick with his wife, Mary Murphy, and all of those kids. And then Mary Catherine with her 4 children. Voila, I've fixed the families. So I hope this has helped. I hope this shows you how to separate the different wives and how to keep them separate, how to deal with when census records misappropriately put children with the wrong wife. It happens all the time, because what's going to happen is the census record is going to apply the children to the father. And this is true of fathers too, by the way. It can go either way. To the father and the wife on that census record. And if their mother died and he had remarried, the census record is going to add that child to the other wife. So the other thing that can happen too, we merge them wives, but you can also merge children, because sometimes the census record is going to then give you duplicate children. It'll have one census record will put the child under the first wife who is their mother, and then another census record will make a whole nother child by accident. You don't realize it's happening, and put it under the second wife. And so you'll see really the same person listed twice with different records, but you can go into that person and you can merge them, cleaning up your tree. Because really it does make it confusing and it does create errors. So that's a quick and dirty way to clean up your trees and have the right wives attached to the right children, attached to the spouse. And look for those clues like I showed you in those census records that say how long a couple has been married and things like that. Those are big red flags if you see that they've only had 4 children, but they've got a whole lot more living with them. And if they've only been married a short period of time, that's a red flag. That tells you there was a previous marriage. So you're looking for the previous wife. So fun. I hope you had fun in seeing this. We're going to have clean trees now, and they're going to look beautiful, and you're going to be so happy. If you have any other questions, I try to go through these things fairly quickly because I value your time, but there may be some confusion. So if you have any questions, put them in the comments and I will address them and try to help you better solve your problems in your family tree. If this has been of help to you, which I sure hope it has, please like this video. It lets YouTube know it's good content. And please subscribe. I would love to build my subscriber base. I would love for you to know when I have a new video come out. So click that bell next to subscribed once you subscribe, and then that way you're notified when I have a new video come out. So have a great day.